and all their, hey, they made their box, it's theirs. We don't react to their box. We continue, we flow, we go, we do, we in touch. And it's so beautiful. And I didn't mean to cut you because all your interjections are so on time, you know?
The recording has started.
Definitely.
That's right.
Exactly. But yeah, yes, and so that's just another important factor that you must be mindful of it, and this is how come it's hitting you like that. Except that, as I told my brother the other day, that okay, now anything that happens, right? Your reaction is important, except that your reaction is a choice. So when things are happening and you realize that, oh, a spot or a place is being marked so that I can recognize when the next level is opened up that I've been reaching to open up for everyone in the first place. So yeah, we don't need to take it too hard, but we do need to really reflect on the fact that yeah, they have miseducated, misinstructed, and purposely so. And the only thing is that they don't even know what they're doing, even though they don't really have the faith and the belief in the things that they stole, that they're listening to, that they're utilizing, because they don't have the wherewithal to embrace them. For those of us who can have the wherewithal to embrace these things, we can't let them go. They are the principles that's holding everything up.
Absolutely right. You just summed that up very, very nicely. You have a group of people that literally do not want to let other people be free because either they can't hold the frequency of the high vibration, or they MF and refuse to, or they've been banned from. And they need to cipher off the energy. I'm about to turn down my mic, y'all, because I know it seems like I'm yelling. I'm afraid to touch it, YouTube, because I just got it back in order, y'all. I'm afraid to touch it. But, all right, there we go. So, they want to keep people at a certain level. And like you said, those that do know, majority of them, like you said, they don't use it. They're afraid to use it. So that's why I make the statement all the time that it's really only 1% that truly get it. And it's 1% of them that's controlling the rest of the 99% of the populace. But with all of that said, I don't care how they try to mess with this feed. I don't care how they try to suppress YouTube numbers. I don't care about any of that. Go stand outside in that plasma, which, by the way, we're literally getting tonight. I'm going to try to step out after the show and see if I can see it, because the Aurora Borealis is coming all the way. It's going to be all the way visible, even to us in North America.
Wow.
Yeah. That's how much Mama Earth is not playing with folks.
Yeah.
That's right.
I've been seeing pink and red clouds in the morning time.
Yeah. Mama Earth ain't playing with them, so they can sit up here and play with the stream, you know, try all of the dramatization they want to.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter.
That's right.
It literally don't matter. They can stand out there and tell the plasma that. Literally.
And the alphabet document already showed their limitations, their confession to it.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
They know where the power is, and so
absolutely.
What they're still wishing on a star that they can still keep people from activating their inner selves.
And it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
It can't work.
It's not going to work. Literally, that's what December 21st is about. Literally.
Uh-huh.
And she already tuning up. When I heard the news say that the Aurora Borealis is going to be visible in North America, and they showed how it's how she's showing all the way to the Ohio line. I'll have to check and see if it's going to go even further than that. That's huge. I already know what time it is. They already know what time it is. Why do you think they hurried up and rushed that vaccine?
Yeah.
Now, we're going to get to it tonight. You know, Martin Kinney, shout out to brother Martin Kinney. He goes in on the vaccine stuff and what it means, because like I said, it's deeper than the surface stuff that people are thinking. This is about survival for a lot of people. This is a huge one, family. We talked about it last week, which last week, I ain't gonna put that on y'all YouTube. That was us. I felt us blow it out. The energy level got so high, I had people reaching out to me saying, you sounded like you was underwater before it went down. So meaning we were like in another dimension at that point. So I can't even put that on them last week. Okay. So I'm not going to put that on you, but I'm putting it on you tonight. And y'all already know how I roll. What you put out there is what you get. But last week we discussed that the planets are lining up, all of them. What they're calling planets, but they're really energy centers, are lining up. Just like your chakras are lined up, and your chakras should be tuning and spinning to match Mother Earth. Because it's truly upgrade time. And the age of Aquarius, although we've been slowly entering the age of Aquarius since 2012, that's what 2012 was all about. We will officially be in the age of Aquarius on December 21st. Wow. Same day that planetary alignment happens, which hasn't happened, because I said it hadn't happened since, I think I said the 1600s and some change. Come to find out, it hasn't happened since the 1200s. Okay?
And that's only part of it.
That's only part of it. But us that know the galactic universal cycle, we know this is the big 26,000 year cycle.
There you go.
With us going into another age.
And another level.
And another level. Absolutely. So that's what all of this is about. I've been consistently saying it for 5 years. Now we are at that point. So the rush for all of this, to stay in the house, to do this, to do that, it is about the shift. It is about your consciousness shifting. And it is a lot of people that are not prepared. It's a lot of people that aren't prepared. And for those that think they want to wipe out a lot of people, that's not true. I've always told y'all, that don't make sense. Because they want their subjects. They like a lot of people because that's more people to feed off. Now, if it's a lot of people that's in tune and awake, that totally eliminates them. Yeah, that's when they want to suppress and get rid of. But just like we read in the Alphabet Boys document, when you are vibrating at a high rate, you cannot be touched.
That's right.
That's what this is about.
Yes. And see, it puts me in mind to two things to reflect on. One was back in quite a few shows ago, I had made you aware that I came across a book that was a sort of a science fiction mystery, and it dealt with some predictions that they knew were taking place and would take place, which would cause an opening.
Yep.
And draw all that which is not, supposed to be, because they have, forfeited their rights as, being allowed to exist. It was to draw them all back in and lock them down. And what they tried to do was create a false alignment that would block the opening or cause the opening at an improper, prophecy. And so that was real interesting, and that's what we kind of witnessing here. And how they just can't do it.
They can't.
The other thing, the other thing that happened was that I picked up a movie. I ain't watched a movie in I don't know how long, but The Kingsman. The Kingsman.
Kingsman.
And I thought I saw this one, and I saw two of them, so I realized, okay, maybe I didn't see this one because I don't remember what I'm seeing here. And as I looked at it, there's this what they call a golden circle, which is this one woman who controls all the poppy seeds and drugs and everything
Mm-hmm.
from a location outside where she has everything set up, and it's all her major source are mechanicals, artificials,
Mm.
intelligences. And but what she does is she develops this drug that she puts into these different things, the herb, the weed, the crack, the all these things that people might be experimenting with or using or hooked on, and she put this thing in it where she has the antidote, and the effect on the people is devastating, and it
Mm.
comes in stages.
Wow.
And then she connects to speak to the quote unquote president of the United States to let them know that these people's lives are put up for ransom.
What?
I have the antidote. These are the stages that they're gonna go through. The final stage is paralysis and then this horrible death. And if you don't take off all the prohibitions and allow me to and my folks immunity from any type of prosecutions, then I'm gonna withhold the antidote, and you're gonna have a lot of lives on your hands. And the president, in his private session with his group, is talking about, see, so we win the war on drugs. Because these are, how you say, um, these are worthless people we're gonna be rid of them,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't have to worry about the drugs. You know, and she can't have any power if nobody needs her drugs. But meanwhile, the
Child.
King's man is deep security unit
Mm-hmm.
that has been offsetting all types of attacks on humanity. And so they're going to take over to intervene. But I'm just saying, these things are all like a confirmation type download that I keep being consciously aware of and made aware of, and the connections, and it's still all part of something that my place in it is known to me. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, but I'm just saying how it all just comes together, these connectivities, and so I can, express with joy and full emotional contact with faith and confidence, and it's gonna be all right.
Yeah. Yeah, brother, real quick, She Who Walks Among the Mist asks if you can repeat the name of the movie, because it does sound like the bomb. Yeah. For sure, for
The
sure.
King's Men.
The
The
King's
King's
Men.
Men.
Okay. Uh
2017. They have two of them, but this one was 2017.
okay, cuz somebody in the Yoni said in the chat, yep, saw that one. The King's Man, and then they put Golden Circle.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's the subtitle.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that sounds like the bomb for sure, for sure. So, but real quick before I forget, I don't know if you were on last week, but a sister came on and gave a testimony.
I heard.
You
Yeah, I was
okay?
on,
Okay, child.
and that was awesome.
You
Yeah.
know I kept referring to what you went through, right?
Yes, I do. Yes, yes.
So y'all be bringing it. That wasn't me just shutting down this doggone airwaves. Y'all be bringing it, cause whatever we talked about last week, baby, these airwaves couldn't handle it. I can't even put it on. Nobody trying to interfere. I felt it. I knew it was gonna go down, and then everybody that reached out to me was like, "You sounded like you were underwater." I'm like, "Oh dang." We had hit some other
Yeah.
dimensional stuff. So I'm glad you heard that, brother, because her testimony, I was speechless because you had just described a similar being, except she said the dude wasn't as tall.
Uh,
But when she first picked dude up, that exact description was there. So I'm like, child, ain't no telling what we finna hear and see, y'all. Because it's getting stronger and stronger. So hopefully you all feel it. So if you're like getting sluggish one minute, you're anxious the next minute, your appetite is on and off, if you're you're feeling nauseated to your stomach, you're getting headaches, that's all a part of your body adjusting
Right.
to Mother Earth's frequency. And it's only going to get stronger and stronger. So this is the 10th tonight. So she's going to be ramping up her energy more and more, because the full blast and the switchover is going to be December 21st, when all of those particular energy centers that they call planets are lining up. And here's the catch with that. It's really a galactic line up. That's what makes it even more powerful, with those portals opening up. So this is a huge one.
That's right.
So now is the time for you all to really, really get grounded with self.
And look at the significance of the 1-0.
Yes.
All right. See, we're switching from the machine contamination,
Right.
and we're going back into the mastery, the essence of all things, where it all comes from, and why it's all going to be all right. And that's the beauty of it.
Absolutely.
And remember, 3 is the expression. The expression boils down to the manifestation of it.
Exactly.
So, wow. You should be glad to be alive and enjoy this moment.
I 1000% agree, brother. This is a beautiful time to be a witness, a living witness. So
Yes.
I don't care what goes on. If you turn on the television, whatever they spewing out, I don't care. If they shut down YouTube, Facebook, Elemental P, what Elemental P and them say, whether or not Trump cards, votes was fraud, all of that. In the grand scheme of things, none of that matters. This is about a galactic shift and going into a new age with higher vibrations and different energies. So your focus should be getting in tune with those vibrations, which is getting in tune with Mother Earth. That's your focus. So that means
Which is
going outside. You don't have to be outside kicking it among other people and being bothered. Matter of fact, that energy might even throw your energy off, and you gonna throw them off. If that means stepping outside on your front porch or on your back porch, stepping in your grass, grounding, that's what you need to do.
yes.
That's what you are supposed to do. You want those energies to hit you. You want the energies to hit you. You want to get adjusted. So over this past, starting now, start going outside and getting grounded. So you can let them upgrades continue to seep in. The reason they are telling people to stay indoors is because most aren't prepared from a vibratory standpoint. They're not prepared to handle the frequency, and they very well can get sick. But it's the opposite for you. You're supposed to be getting grounded. So hopefully we can see Mama Earth's frequency, because that's all the aurora borealis is. That's her particular frequency. Hopefully we can see it. You know, I saw some people in the comment drop and kind of share with us how the skies are looking in their particular area. So enjoy that. You know, all of us that see it, it's such a beautiful thing. But that's her UV radiation. That's her cleansing herself. She's cleansing herself, and she is cleansing you as well.
It's coming to the West Coast too, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know it spanned that far when I heard about it yesterday. I was shocked that it was coming that far down north.
They have a picture on YouTube. I haven't opened the link yet. But it has it all up in Seattle and Alaska, all that. It's all a green streak. It's like two of them. One from the West Coast and one coming from the East Coast. I was just looking at it.
Yeah, Mama Earth ain't playing, baby. We done took and told folks for 5 years. I told y'all she was going to have the last word. I said it. She will have the last word. This is her stuff. This is her stuff. She's a living, breathing entity. And if she wants to wipe every last one of us out, that's including me, that's her right to do it. So just get ready. It's really, really a beautiful thing that you are witnessing. And people think that 2020 done been off the chain. Baby, we ain't seen nothing yet. We ain't seen nothing yet. She just starting.
And you notice again, 1221, right?
Yep. And what's the significance of 1221, brother?
Oh, there's just so many different things tied to that whole numerological concept, as well as the principles and laws behind it and according to it. And so, I mean, we have various different sections that held on to the principles connected, like the 5% nation of the olden days during our time growing up. In the 60s and 70s, all right, they were talking about the ruler, even according to the letters of the alphabet. So we know the significance of 12. Then we know the significance of the 1 and the 2, the knowledge and the wisdom, and then the wisdom and the knowledge. So,
absolutely.
And then we know the significance of the 3 that brings together. And then we go into the cipher that takes us back to that 10 that we're expressing here and experiencing now. Oh, man, we got so much going on.
Right.
And see, now, the thing that many of us are not mindful of is that law and principle of magnetism.
Yes.
And see, yes, we ought to, go out and ground ourselves, but on the rail, wherever we at, we will draw this to us because it is the time for that.
Absolutely.
And even though we know that the potency of these things, the potency of the plasma and the potency of the flow and the potency of the increase, what we may not be consciously aware of is the finesse that it comes with, is the loving care, the deep eternal love that it comes with, which means that I know each one of my children. I know what they need. I know how much they need. I know when they need it and how often. You see what I'm saying? So,
absolutely.
Just to put it in simple words, my eldest cousin told me once, listen, Rob, a mother knows their own child.
Absolutely.
She can have 20, but she'll treat each one in the way that she knows they need to be treated.
Indeed. Indeed, brother. Well, I'm so glad you came in and put something on it. We was like I said, you was on our mind last week, on our heart and on our soul, because when that sister came in with that testimony, we were like, whoa. So I'm so glad. But yeah, just real quick, folks are putting on something in the chat with you. So yeah, y'all know also December 21st is the winter solstice. Okay. So Scotty Saturn is saying, I know Scotty said, yes, buffering again. I see it. I'm going to try to give it a little boost in a minute. So bear with me. So let me get through these right quick. It says, Scotty Saturn said, the green, so that Aurora Borealis, that's green. We've talked about this several times. The green represents the heart chakra. Remember, I told you that the heart chakra is the gateway between the lower self and the higher self. So that green Aurora Borealis that Mama Earth is outputting, that is her heart chakra as well. Now, what we've been seeing in the Aurora Borealis, we've also been seeing it turn purple. So we know the purple represents the highest level, or not the highest, because the highest is the crown. But that purple represents you being in that higher consciousness level. So we've seen Mama Earth push out the purple across the Aurora Borealis. Okay? So some are saying in the chat that I think Sis Cheryl said Northern Light forecast has gone bust. I don't know what you mean by that, Sis Cheryl. What do you mean by going bust? Are they saying that we're not going to be able to see it? Give a little bit more info.
Spirit bodies, if you will. And there are chakras as above, so below.
Absolutely.
And so this is how come when you started talking about the purple, and you said, okay, that's the crown chakra. And see, now we're getting into, like, remember that the grossest thing down here is also the highest thing up there. Meaning we're not really talking, the directional point is in the words that they form and the ideas that they project. We are talking about the dimensional levels of interplay that is taking place with the essence of life.
Right.
So the white down here, and then the light white is also up there with the chakras.
That's right.
That beyond ours, which when I say beyond ours, it's really not that it's unreachable. It's just that the frequency will only allow us to get there. And,
right.
You know, the protection is that ain't nobody with their negativity and destructive love affair with, I should say hate affair with destroying Earth and humanity is going to reach those frequencies.
Right.
So they will never know. And they should be pissed off about it. But at the same time, they created their own box, their own limitations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what happens when you don't want to abide by the rules in somebody else's house. You get put out.
especially when them rules are really the principles of existence.
Exactly. Exactly. How you gonna come in somebody else's stuff and do what you want to do, and you're literally destroying their stuff? You're literally killing their stuff, and you got a so-and-so attitude because they won't continue to allow you to to abuse and use their children and them. Yeah. You got an attitude. Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I do thank you very much for taking my call.
All right, brother.
The family that I need to pick up and exchange the truth, and you named the show proper.
All right, brother. Well, it was so good hearing your voice, brother. So, peace and love to you, brother. Thanks so much.
Peace and love.
All right, peace and love.
Okay.
Peace and love, sister.
Okay, I'm coming to you, brother 832. YouTube family, it is what it is. I'm seeing it buffering on my end, so y'all already know what time it is. So I may come back and re-upload this. So y'all just gonna have to hang in there. Hopefully it clears up. It is what it is, but I'm not gonna keep restarting it at this point. I've already restarted. I shut everything down. I did a new stream. So it is what it is at this point. We already know what time it is. Okay? So, YouTube, that's on y'all. Suffer the consequences. Because it's really no excuse for this. I'm showing 49 people watching. I certainly don't have a bunch of stuff running. Plus, all my equipment is new. So, I already know what time it is, YouTube. That's on y'all. All right, let me bring in buffering. Brother 832. What you say, sis?
It's not buffering for me.
Yeah, but I'm seeing it on my end where it's saying it's the signal is weak.
Yeah, that's weird. I see all their comments.
Yeah, and sis Cheryl said now they've downgraded the Aurora Borealis, talking about it's been downgraded. You won't be able to see it. Well, if you can't see it, that means they blocked it out. But you're not finna sit up here and convince me that all of a sudden, the energy just decided to stop. Get the F out of here. Just this morning, you literally said that not only will we be able to see the Aurora Borealis, that we're going to be having radiation bursts. Matter of fact, I got an article about it. So now you're going to come out and say that it's been downgraded? Oh, okay. You could sell that to the 99%, bruh. But we already know what's going on. So you didn't contradicted yourself within just 24 hours? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, they don't want people looking for it. So they call themselves, see, that's the thing. They call themselves playing with universal law. And that's why they're going to be purged. Because they have to tell you the truth. So they told you the truth the first time by telling you that the Aurora Borealis was coming down. It's going to be visible. I know they said all the way down to Ohio. I don't even know if it goes further down than that. Then this morning they said that there's some type of radiation energy burst. And I pulled an article that I'm going to share. Now that was just this morning when I woke up. So now they done downgraded it. So now you think you finna play with the universe? Well, I didn't put the truth out there. Now I'm going to reverse what I say. That don't stop the laws of the universe. And they already see what's going on. The laws of the universe have gotten so strong that whatever they do, it's almost like an immediate backlash against them. And to show you how desperate they are, They keep doing stupid shit. So that ain't stopping nobody. That's not stopping a damn thing. We don't have to see it. We can feel it. It would be beautiful if we could see it. We don't have to see it. We feel it. All right. Okay, brother 832, peace and love. Your mic is open.
Rhonda! Sandra! My sisters from other misters! Feathers up!
Feathers up, brother.
Feathers up, brother.
United Snakes of America down! Sean, my brother from another mother in witness protection program tonight.
He just running late.
you know, I don't know if I'm going to be doing a movie review for you tonight, but I did have something to fill in the blanks that he said. The Kingsman's first villain was Samuel L. Jackson. I guess you could say perpetrating 5G because he used cell phones to control the world's population. That was you know how the Bond villain worked in the series. You had Blofeld, you had Spectre, you know, all these villains in the the pantheon of what Hollywood puts out. It's world domination, right? So the black man was the first villain, was Samuel L. Jackson. Very interesting if you haven't seen that. It would tweak you, and how he utilized cell phones to control people and then kill the upper crust 1% by embedding something in the base of their skull, and their heads blew off. I don't want to give it away. Very interesting climactic scene where all those people's heads were blown off to orchestral background music. In the Golden Circle, you remember Hannibal? Jodie Foster played the first one in Silence of the Lambs. The sister who played her in the second one, that's Julianne Moore, she plays the villainous Poppy that the brother previously.
Okay, I like Julianne Moore. That's the redhead lady, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the manner in which she used pharmacology, that's basically what he was getting at. She used dope, if you will, as a vector. Now, do you remember SG-1 or Stargate?
Yes.
What were those parasitic beings? And I had a lot of stuff going in my head while you were talking with that, brother, but if you may remember, they were referred to as the Goa'uld. And it made me think about the Germanic origin of the word God or Goad. But do you remember the Goa'uld? The serpent-like?
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that, so...
That took control?
But you go ahead and explain it. I wasn't really a big fan of it, so go ahead,
I was
brother.
only putting it out as you know, I'm putting it out as an analogy of the parasite in and of itself. We've talked about this repeatedly. Parasites cannot exist without a host.
Yeah.
And this particular parasite looked serpentine. You know, it was a serpent with a different type of warped-looking mouth and whatnot. But it took physical possession of a human-type host. You can read into that however you want to. You talk about these reptilians and all this other, you know, ET extraterrestrial stuff that's QAnon and all these other supposed conspiracy corridors are not professing that. Some believe that this is a prison planet, which I don't personally subscribe to that, but it gives the connotation that our home is a shithole. Isn't that what the president, the occupant of the people's house, referred to places where the indigenous population is originated, whether you want to talk about the out of Africa mythology or if you want to talk about the Americas as they have been misidentified. But particularly the ones that seem to be south of the equator, including Haiti to a degree, has been referred to as shithole nations, right? And I'm supposed to believe the planet is a prison planet, and then got these whatever foreign entities, starting with the Anunnaki and the Gigi, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't want to get too far. I'm just saying that narrative is Stargate SG-1.
Okay, got you.
You know,
Got you.
a lot of what was prophesied in the Lost Book of Enki and what Wendell, what almost a year y'all went through that and discussing it, was a lot of the storybook, if you will. I think that's what they use when they call about laying out what they're going to put as the blueprint of a particular film. That was the Anunnaki.
Got you. I'm going to have
Parasite,
to go. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
Well, you can look at the actual movie, or you could go and cop the series anytime. You can drop in on the SG-1 Stargate, and they've had different versions like they do with Star Trek.
Yeah, because that's what I remember.
Continuum.
Yep. I know they have it as a series, and I know it was a movie. But, the
original movie was Kurt Russell. That was Kurt Russell playing, the gung-ho Rambo, commander.
Oh, yeah. I definitely remember that, because wasn't it one brother in there, too, and they went through the
he was
gateway?
The head slave, if you will, that was the head of the military force, kind of like what Biden is picking this brother as the president.
Yeah, you saw that too. I saw that.
Yeah, well, whichever. But I just wanted to try to, throw those out for a moment, just in the pantheon of. Now let's talk about. Go ahead on with the fuckery, since I kind of made peace of it. I haven't heard an official report tonight, but just to let you know, I wasn't on YouTube, so I didn't hear any of those problems that Sister Cheryl and others may express. It was uninterrupted on the line. So I heard you and Sandra and everything that y'all were saying, from the beginning. So I don't know if once you go back, play back, record and whatnot,
Yeah, but that's YouTube. Yeah, it wasn't that wasn't us on the line. That's YouTube, right, that's been messing with it.
Now that was what I was going to eventually talk about in the fuckery report, but I had wanted to dance with binging on Lovecraft Country, since I haven't and did all 10 episodes. But I wanted to preface it this way. Season 2 in this way. This is just my opinion. American Gods is having a very difficult time. I think they still are going to try to milk out just a little bit something. You saw what happened to Orlando Jones, right? And
they fired him, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and he was actually technically the showrunner of season 2.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Then we had the watch. Oh yeah, well that's what you probably want to Google it. Yeah, he's had some interviews that have come up recently that gave more of the details behind the scenes, and not only that, how they blocked him from being employed for almost 4 years.
Oh wow.
Then you have the Watchmen, and that all of a sudden mysteriously ain't gonna see the light of day again.
Well, supposedly they said they was renewing a second season, but I assume with Rona that they're getting delayed.
That's one excuse. By this time, Memorial Day will be the centennial of the actual Greenwood, Oklahoma. You do know that. And I was going to tie that and segue to Lovecraft Country. You did understand the significance of them tying in Tulsa, Oklahoma in the backstory. So I'm going to take a pause.
Right. Coming up off of those indentured servant contracts, had just started taking the seat of power. So they did not want that particular Tulsa community to rise.
Can I give a segue point from both series for your consideration?
Absolutely.
On how the sister went back to Tulsa Greenwood Business District was through taking the drug called nostalgia from her grandfather, Louis Gossett Jr.
Sure did.
That. And her overdosing on that, she lived his life experiences, literally. From finding her grandmother, because remember, she was the baby he recovered in the field.
The grandmother, the lady's grandmother was, y'all.
So he found her in the field, and they were 2 orphans left behind for the massacre. And when he gave birth to her grandfather, if you remember, when she talked about while she was pregnant, She said, don't ever make me cry again. Why? Because when she was crying, his voice comforted her when he found her in the field. You remember that? I'm tying that back from the flashback scene. In Lovecraft Country, how did they go back? Through the portal driven by the mother, who plugged in. Remember them things that was in her wrist? Almost
yes.
Looked like the place where people try to commit suicide.
Yes.
And there was these purplish-looking implants.
Yep.
That she plugged in to drive the machinery, which was in an observatory.
Yep.
Which she had to put in, what is it, longitudinal, latitudinal, and
yep.
time coordinates?
Yep, yep.
And they physically went back
yep.
to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yep, yep.
On the night, and what did he do? This is what always confuses people about time mechanics. What did he do? Was he not the savior with the bat?
Yeah, he beat the brakes off of them.
His own father and uncle, and which one was the father? The uncle was the father, really, or not? You know.
Right, the uncle wound up being the father. Yes.
And then he literally was crucified on a cross and bloodletted, right?
Yes. Yep. Yep. Yes.
She immersed herself in his blood, drank his blood, and then the succubus, which they called something from a Korean origin.
Yep.
The succubus tied the white, blonde, blue-eyed female, the heavily melanated Christ crucified figure, and allegedly in biblical scripture, was there not 3 women? Mary the mother, Mary Magdalene, and another acolyte, and John the Baptist. Then who carried his body off across the bridge?
They
3
did.
women,
the women did.
and his father. Right, 3 women and his father. You know, I'm not saying whether it's an actual tie together, because you get the point I'm making.
I get it very much so, because remember, what was his name? We're talking about Watchmen, Yao. We're talking about Watchmen. What was that brother's name?
Country now. We've transferred.
Sorry. We were talking about Watchmen. We're on Lovecraft. Yeah. But what was the brother's name? Was it not Atticus? Was his name not Atticus?
Atticus.
Exactly.
Atticus Sampson Freeman, actually.
It can't. I mean, come on now. We can't make it up.
So when Greenwood / Tulsa, Oklahoma, is in the backdrop of the 2 possibly most powerful HBO series in 2019 and 2020, you tell me, sister.
Because they were just, putting out the true history and putting out the spiritual power, which is the real truth. They were literally putting it all out there, and we called it on both ends.
The ancestral slave ancestor say the answer was in your blood.
Yep.
Did she not say that?
Sure did.
In a sequence. And then he had to what? Willfully sacrifice himself, did he?
Right.
And she said through his actual mother that her spell, her incantation, which has been worked on for a century, the fire actually happened in 1833.
Yeah.
Very interesting, 3 years after the Indian Removal Act of 1830.
Well.
She told him in that dream sequence that it would change everything. Then when the climactic moment, what was changed as in changing everything? The white woman said, you bound me from magic.
Sure did.
What did she respond to her and say? Not just that. What did she say? All white.
Yes, she did. I got chills when number one, let's start with, I could not believe they put that in that series. I went back and rewinded it because I wanted to make sure I did not want to lie upon some people.
And I know as a crowning point, the significance, you understood why it was called the Book of Names.
Yep.
And if they did not teleport back in time, it would have burned down in the first house they said got burnt to the ground.
Exactly. Exactly.
But she said our ancestors have been protecting this for generations.
Yep.
Now, if we take all of this connotation into the significance of just one out of tens, if not hundreds, maybe thousands of our communities that were decimated from 1900 to 1925. Okay? At the turn of the century in 1900, the so-called enslaved population, our ancestors, whether you want to call them African Americans, which is not correct, or you actually call them what they were, the authentic American, they owned over 16 million acres of land at the turn of the century, which is less than 25 years out of Reconstruction. Okay? How much do you think Negroes own today? Is it even 2 million?
You may be pushing it.
We're highly educated, PhD'd up, degreed out the wazoo, in debt, and hundreds of millions of dollars. Hell, the first black family, allegedly African American, 2 lawyers, were more than $2 million in debt as they were walking into the White House. Do you know that?
Dang.
That book he wrote just did get them back to zero on their student loans. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah. You mean Press O and them. Yeah, that I knew. That I knew walking in, and they had all of that debt. Absolutely.
Okay, so what is the significance of us being clueless? You see, and I'll segue to the fuckery report, official or unofficial. It's about the YouTube dilemma you're having. Please correct me, but is this not a platform owned by Google?
Yes, it is.
Are they not right now, whether we want to call it demonetizing, since you just described earlier in the beginning of this conversation, what the fuckery is of monetization? What are they trying to use antitrust against Facebook to right now have them?
We was finna get in there.
Instagram, and WhatsApp.
They said monopoly, did they not? Sis Sandra was bringing it up, and we was trying to get into it, and we got rudely interrupted. Yes.
Okay, then who was being forced to sell TikTok?
China, if I remember correctly.
Now, are they selling it to Oracle or to Walmart? I don't know the details.
I forgot who they had to sell it to. I would have to go back and look.
So when you're trying to keep track of this game, with AT&T, the specter in the background, if I'm not mistaken, AT&T owns Disney. I'm not sure. Maybe in a partnership. You have to get into the mergers and acquisition weeds of this shit. Comcast does own NBC Universal, does it not?
I think so, yes.
And so when we're talking about the big six, because that's what you'd be talking about, with Disney owning ABC Communications and the partnership, Southwestern Bell was the baby Bell that reformulated Ma Bell that got broken up. So what people don't understand, it went from the capital letters AT&T to the lowercase a.
Yeah, that game that they play, yeah.
And so when we don't understand the significance of how these things are playing out, this is how the parasitic existence, you feel me? Because in feeding off of us, explain to me that phrase, it's always been disturbing to me, the soundtrack of our lives. What does that mean to you? The soundtrack of our lives. And who is playing it? It usually are R&B.
Right.
Gospel. Jazz. Now, hip-hop, which is a worldwide phenomenon in the tens of billions, probably hundreds of billions of dollars.
Right.
And we control how much of it? Less than a penny?
Yep.
And where is it not played almost seamlessly, ubiquitously, in the background of anything, everything?
Exactly.
Commercials on TV, the YouTube shit that you described, and the slap in the face, you called it, and it was, to be, while you're demonetized and the bitch is pimping you with ads and our music and our intellectual properties that we don't what? We don't own.
We don't own, right.
Now, I might be rambling a bit here, but it's all connected while it seems dispersed.
It is. It
you
is.
said the crown, top of one's head. In the beginning was the Word. Come on, help me, Sandra. And the Word was God. And the Word was with God. So could you tell me where is heaven? Because as the brother preceded me says, as above, so below. It shall be in heaven as it is where? Doesn't say in hell. On earth.
Yep.
Huh? So where is the word? Before a word is thought, is it not?
Yes.
So then where is heaven? The thought?
You would think.
What is the earth, Mama? Tangible, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying I have an answer. I'm just making an observation. I'll share something with you. A friend told me. I don't think she would mind. It won't be theft. His story. History.
Right.
Not true. Mystery. My story.
Love it.
Is the truth.
Let me get a bomb.
Okay, so when we peel back these things, just like that onion you said before and other subjects and topics we've been talking about, it's continuously peeling a layer after layer after layer. Every layer is a fraud.
Yep. Very
Where
very
is
well.
the truth?
Indeed.
And the mystery, us, the authentic original man and woman, the only American, defined by the first alien invaders as the copper-colored races of people that they encountered that were unimaginable to them. Remember when you even want to go and cling to what they call it, the Hoteppers, and ancient Kemet? What did they say about the Greeks? What did the ancient Greeks say about the awesomeness of who they call the Ethiops, which then turned into the Ethiopians as a phrase, and were described as the blackest of black, correct? But they could never conceptualize. Herodotus, the so-called father of history, said they were the pantheon of what is Greek gods and mythology, correct? And they don't precede our ancestors in the Americas.
Yep.
We have all kinds. Brother, I appreciate what you said. Is dig it in the garbage can. He didn't necessarily mean it the way he said it, but when you put some stank on it for a few millennium, or maybe 26,000 crust, you know what they call that shit, my sister? Archaeology. Don't they?
Yes, they do.
Did that digging in somebody's goddamn garbage from tens of thousands of years ago? And we tell us about what and those that what is 2,000 years? The year of our Lord, 2020. Who the hell is that?
Right.
I'm circling back to Lovecraft Country. Did we not see him on a cross, crucified, bloodletted, and the answer was in his blood according to his slave, so-called slave ancestor.
Slave mama, indeed.
And who are we trying to listen to in 2020? To get a clue? I mean, I don't know. And I'll wrap up with my old catchphrase, it's last call for alcohol. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here.
That's right.
And I yield.
Indeed. Giving you the bomb. Again, thank you, Brother 832. Peace and love. All right, y'all. So that was Brother 832. It's good to hear his voice. I know somebody else was in the queue. You dropped off. I apologize, beloved. You can get back in and I'll bring you on. So yeah, family, just real quick on that Facebook stuff, what I was fenced to say before we got rudely interrupted for a good 30 minutes. I still to this day cannot find this article. I've talked about it in passing several times. When I told y'all last year that I ran across this article of this man that had went to school, well, he claimed allegedly he went to school with Zuckerberg, and that how he wasn't that smart, and how pretty much he felt that the Alphabet Boys handed him Facebook to run. Now, interestingly enough, what the man said, what I found interesting, he said that they are going to shut Facebook down. He said that Zuckerberg knows that they're going to shut it down because it would have served its purpose. And so that was on me for not listening to my higher self to download that article and print it out. And I have searched high and low. I cannot find that article anywhere. Because the man dropped a bunch of other explosive stuff about Zuckerberg's supposedly personal life, which I really don't give a doggone about that. But just the fact of him making that prediction that they're going to shut Facebook down. The Facebook is going to start running into a lot of problems. They're going to shut it down, and that it's being that Zuckerberg was handed that particular role. He didn't invent anything. That was handed to him. And what I liked about it is because I had said that before I ran across the article. I told you all that all of them tech geeks, so that means the Google person, that means the YouTube person, that means Elon Musk. I told you all that they are handed that technology. They ain't came up with a doggone thing. Okay? So I just find that article was very, very interesting. I hate I can't find it. Although I don't know if it's true, of course, but I find it interesting now they come out with trying to hit them with antitrust / monopoly law. You approved for them to buy all of that stuff up. You knew that exactly what they were doing. So what now you trying to reverse it up? So it's all just a game. It's all just a ploy. And as we've stated earlier in the stream, the one that we had to restart, that, this social media game was set up for the purpose to monitor what the people are doing and also push their narrative as well and get people to tell their business. Which all of that has worked. But I think the thing that surprised them was the fact that people took it to flip the narrative to put the truth out there. I think that's what shocked them the most. Like, whoa, and the level of information that people are putting out there. I think that's what shocked them. That's when they had to come in with the censoring. Because they felt that the social media people were doing too much influence. And I find that hilarious because what difference does it make? If that's what grown folks want to believe, that's their business. Now, I don't have a problem with if you talking about people that's out there spewing hate. I'm in agreement with that. Yeah, go on and shut them down. Get them on out the way. They can have several MF seats. I 1000% agree with it. But you mean to tell me now when people say that they feel this is fake, that is fake, you starting coming behind them, putting your fact checker, which be wrong most of the time, or putting little disclosures up under their video, literally I be on Top Cats Live, and they be having a flat earth up under his video, and he don't even be talking about no flat earth. So, you know, it is what it is at this point. You know, the genie is out of the bottle, per se. They can't bring it back. They can't bring it back. So at this point, it's just survival for them. It is survival for them. It's an upgrade for you. Mother Earth has spoken. The universe has spoken. This shit is over. We're not in the age of messiahs and Pisces and lordship. We're not in that age. You're in the age of knowing. So embrace it and do your thing. Okay, so with that said, Sis Sandra, you still with us?
Yeah, I was going to say that I heard that Facebook was developed.
Uh-oh, sis. You went out. Okay, sis, I don't know what happened. You kind of went out.
Well, I hit the button initially.
Oh, okay.
I heard that it was funded by the FBI. But, you know, when you look at all the things that people like and is controlled by, the government funded it, like the churches, the different movements, like, you know, the Muslims and all that kind of stuff. They fund the people who do those things so they can keep track. Say for instance, the Muslims, Brotherhood, Farrakhan, they keep track of all the felons because of that.
Oh yeah, they've been on the Muslims specifically, Farrakhan and them, like you said, and the Moors. They've been on them for some decades, y'all, because and let me back it up now. I can't speak on Farrakhan's and them people, so I ain't trying to lie up on them at all because I don't know that. I don't know that for sure. But as far as the Moors, some of the Moors, and that's not all of the Moors, because not everybody that's carrying that Moor title is into shenanigans. So I'm not trying to even put that label on them. However, they are listed on the FBI terrorist list. Literally. To this day. They are labeled as a black extremist group. That ain't nothing I'm making up. That's fact. They literally have listed on their terrorist watch list with the Moor organization. They call them Moorish. They literally have listed them doing, they call it domestic paperwork terrorist. That's facts. I'm not making it up. That's facts. Okay? So they are looking for folks to be fiddling around with that paperwork, to be throwing around that identity. They looking to lock you right the so-and-so up. But they've been tracking people for decades. You know, I'm going to go far back as Garveyism all the way up until today. You had the Garveyism movement. You had the Black Panther movement. And then during the Black Panther movement, you also had people talking about going back to Africa. That's where that whole Pan-Africanism came into play. They've been tracking them all that time. Now remember, when these particular organizations, they recruit in prison. The biggest recruitment for the men, I won't say the biggest, I do know they recruit heavily up in prison.
Uh-huh.
Literally. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, sis.
No, you're right. They had that in. I think it was The Biggest Secret, or it was Behold the Pale Horse. They were telling about it was Biggest Secrets. They were talking about all of these religions, even the thing, Jehovah Witnesses are funded. They're all, they go pick somebody out they could, to lead these people, and they give them money and they set up their religions. But you said something and I forgot what you said. But Malcolm X, I believe, was the one who said it in his speech before they got rid of him, about the fact that it was funded.
Oh, that's interesting. Hmm. That's it. Well, I mean, it is what it is, because we do know for a fact that Junior Bush. Remember when Junior Bush set up all of that funding for the churches to run those programs through? And now, I don't know this for sure. Some folks have come out and said this. I don't personally know it to be true, because I'm not a preacher and I ain't close to any preachers that can give me any receipts. But, excuse me, family, supposedly and allegedly, they have to do certain things in order to get certain funding. So that means supporting certain government narratives. And I do know, well, I don't know for sure, but according to these folks, that voting is also one of them. Voting is a huge one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is at this point, family. Again, like I've said, I'm not sitting up here trying to convince anyone on what they should believe from a religious standpoint. That's your business. That's your personal spiritual journey. Just like I'm not trying to sit up here and convince people that you're not from Africa. That's your business. If you feel your people from Africa, who the hell am I? I can't speak on your mama's womb, or your grandmama's womb, or your great-great-great-grandmama's womb. That's your business. But what I can tell you is that those that have done their due diligence, that have done the physical research to have their particular receipts, and also listen to their grandma and them, big mama and them, they know what they know, and they have the proof, and they're not backing down. We're not backing down. So those particular doctrines and narratives, you can't put them over on us anymore. Right. If that's what you want to believe, you are free to believe that, beloved. Go on, do your thing. You just can't convince us, because we done the research, we got the paperwork. So don't worry about how we move. That's not your concern. Keep doing you. That's the same on the spiritual level. You cannot tell me what I know for me personally, spiritually, just like I can't tell it for you. Go on and do your thing, because I have told you all that we are in the age of knowing. So that means that whole narrative of forcing people to bow down to a Messiah so they can cipher energy from, that shit is over. It's gone.
Yeah.
So the rest of the 99% of the population, baby, you got to stand up on your own. You have to put on your big girl drugs, your big boy drugs, and you got to stand in the decisions that you make. So it's not about us having a collective. I got to get this one here to do that and get that one here. It ain't finna fucking happen. This is a consciousness split. And what you cannot do, it is a frequency thing. You cannot force someone on a different frequency than you to rock with you. It's not gonna work. And I'm here to tell you it's okay. It's okay. If that's what you want to believe, if you want to experience being in rulership, whatever you feel you need to experience, that's what your soul feel it needs to experience. But gone are the days of having the best of both worlds. And what I mean by that is you get the luxury of believing what you believe, but then you still have these other high vibrational beings. We off to the side doing our shit, and you get to siphon and borrow energy. That shit is over. You got to totally stand on your own. And even if you think you haven't made a decision, you've made a decision. Your soul consciousness has made a decision. And you have to own it. That's each and every one of us. That's including me. I'm responsible for the decisions that I make, not only in the physical rather, but more importantly, my soul consciousness. I am responsible for them totally and fully, whether I want to be or not. So I see a lot of people getting their drugs and pennies in a bunch because splits are happening. It's supposed to happen. I'm telling you, it is supposed to happen. So ain't no amount of kicking and screaming. Use a damn lie. You trying to do that. You trying to do this. For me personally, I could be all that you say I am. That's not going to stop me from doing what I want to do, how I want to do it, and when I want to do it. Because, see, you can't create my reality for me. So that's where we are. And out of all of this, the sad part about it is people are not seeing the beauty of it. And the beauty of it is you have a choice. All right, so let me bring on Brother Sean. Yes, hey, Deep H2O. Yes, it's the faith-based initiatives. Thank you, Sweet Pea. I could not remember the name of what Bush Jr. had put into place for the churches. And he set all of those programs up in those grants to run through the particular churches. Now, supposedly and allegedly, I don't know for sure that in order for them to get those programs, they had to follow certain hidden rules. Like I said, that I don't know. I don't have any proof of it. That's just what's been said.
They take classes and then they sign a contract. It's a 501c3 for the taxes. And those people who, those contracts they take and the classes they attend. I mentioned it to a lady who does taxes once, that they do that, and she said, you'll go to jail if you start talking that.
What?
She straight out told me. She said, I could call the police on you for talking that.
It doesn't surprise me. And what's interesting, hey, peace and love. She who walks among the mist. She says the Treaty of Friendship, Peace and Friendship with the Moors was 1787, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this whole confusion and fuckery that has been created among melanated people in the Americas on who is whom, and people want to have a MF and attitude when you tell them, no, I'm not a Moor. No, I ain't African. Yep, guess what? I am indigenous Americans that they call Indian. And guess what? I found out that I'm European. Nobody mixed with Caucasian. My folks are also melanated, aka Black European. People have a problem with that because they want you to fit the narrative of Moor, not even really knowing what Moor is.
Yeah.
You got to fit into a nationality. What the fuck do a nationality have to do with my mother's womb? I'm going to say that again. What the fuck does a nationality have to do with my mother's womb, my grandmother's womb, my great-grandmother's womb, so forth and so on? So I ain't trying to hear none of that shit. Now, if that's what you need for you, you do you, boo.
I spoke to an Oklahoma Indian. I know they're relatives. And she actually thought that because we didn't go on the reservation that we were mixed. And I said, mixed with what? So I said, no, because we didn't go. Because, remember you talked in the history that the pioneers and pilgrims and all that kind of stuff. There's 50,000 on the Indian Removal Act went into that, the land, Oklahoma.
Right, that's 50,000 out of millions?
Yeah, 50,000
50,000 out of millions? And then you gonna try to convince us that millions were exterminated? The rest of the Indians just died. And it was just all African slaves.
Exactly. They think we were absorbed in them and became part of them. And so I said, listen, the titles they gave us was Negro, colored, mulatto, African American. That's what they did, because they got around what Pope Paul the third or fourth said by changing our names. When they changed our titles and our names, that's how they got around that. So they were smart enough to take everything away from us by calling us what we, by our titles. I mean, those titles, and by giving us the right to vote.
Yeah, and we've gone over this over and over on this channel, and I'm not gonna keep going over and over with it. Either folks get it or they don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. That's their responsibility to find out who they are. It's not my responsibility. I just did the research for my people. I know who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And I do the behind the scenes on what the true story is. So that's not my problem what other people believe, what they think I believe, if they feel I'm inaccurate. I don't give a damn about none of that. I've done my part. I put that body of work out there. So that's on them. I'm not getting into no debates with no mofos. None of that. That's their personal journey. Not mine. Theirs. So you could keep going round and round and round and round, which I ain't finna do.
Right.
Because I'm living my best life. I ain't going back and forth with you ninjas. I'm not doing it. So do you. If you want to be African, knock yourself out. If you feel the Indians on the reservation today are the true Indians, knock yourself out. I don't have nothing to do with that. But what you not finna do, if you feel you need a nationality, knock yourself out. If you feel you need to be in a group, knock yourself out. But as far as me and mine, what you not finna do is tell me what happened with my mama's womb. That's what you not finna do. This shit ain't hard. People have made it difficult because they want to keep living in illusions.
Right.
That is their right. But what you're not finna do is trap me in the web of illusions. Now, I have specifically said, you are in the time where you are supposed to be breaking generational curses. I have been consistent on that. So all of what our ancestors didn't know, or what they hid, or what they didn't want to tell us, or whether or not they participated in the fuckery, I specifically said now was the time for you to break them curses in your bloodline. I don't fuck around with generalities. I'm talking about your bloodline. So now if you choose to follow any other of those paths, that's between you and your bloodline. But I am telling you, don't think that it's finna be kumbaya. Because folks that are doing their mission of their soul consciousness, that's breaking the generational curses, we ain't hearing that. We're not hearing the fuck shit. So you wasting energy on us. And matter of fact, why you even focus on us? Because it ain't that many of us. Go on, try to convince that 99% that. Don't worry about what we doing over here. And I'm speaking on the indigenous Indian copper color community. Don't worry about what the fuck we doing. Because you can't tell me it ain't no amount of paperwork. It ain't no amount of books that you can tell me about my mama's womb. You can't do it. So go on and have several seats and concentrate on you and yours. I want everyone to be successful. Have at it. Okay. Okay, let me bring on Brother Sean. All right, brother, I'm trying to bring you in. Child, we done had some crap tonight. Hold on, Brother Sean. It's spinning. All right, family, what you say, she who walks among the mist, you said, when you mention food, water, clothing, and shelter, you hear crickets from some Moors. Baby, I'm not trying to play with folks, she who walks among the mist. That's what, now that part, I just be shaking my MFing head. Brother Sean, I'm literally still trying to bring you in. I be shaking my head. Because it's all about the paperwork with them. The paperwork and the nationality and the getting back the land. And a lot of them don't even live off the land. They don't even grow stuff, none of that. It's paper pushers. Exactly. Paper pushers without a real cause. And if that's what they want to do, have at it. But I am going to say, and I'll say again, those that know that it's bullshit, y'all finna pay a big price. And some of you are already paying a big price and you ain't even seen it yet. You ain't even seen it. If you purposely out there pushing bullshit ass doctrine, getting people locked up, or just getting people false hopes, spinning into nowhere so you can collect dues, oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. And shame on you, because in some of the Moors' defense, they were tight on the higher sciences. So they should know where we're at right now. Why this melanated copper color Indian / half black Brit, a partial black Brit, I don't know how much MF percentage it is, got to be sitting up here telling this stuff. Not just for 1 year, but consistently for 5 years. And everything my copper color ass said is coming to light. But y'all supposed to have the higher sciences. The knowledge was given to you. And you sending your people out there unprepared. Because you're unprepared. The same way you do when you abandon them in court. Oh, did I say that? Yeah, motherfucker, I said it. Just like you abandon them in court. You give them that paperwork, they get to submit that shit. And then when the law come knocking, the people that have reached out to me, which has been plenty, y'all don't even show up. You don't even have their back. And now we're going through a galactical shift, and you ain't even prepared your people. You ain't prepared them spiritually. You ain't prepared them physically. You ain't told them to have a clean pack of drugs, have some water, have some food. You ain't told them shit but sign this paperwork. Exactly, Deep H2O. Then you want to sit up and talk about the Caucasian, about paperwork, and you the biggest paperwork pusher. You niggas been pushing paperwork at least 20 years. At least. So now, I'm not talking about the ones that don't know. Sweet Pea, I'm not even referring to you. They know exactly who the fuck I'm talking to. You that sit in those temples, that start up these motherfucking nations, that's sending out these goddamn nationality cards. Bitch, I'm talking to you. You are going to pay a price. So keep on fucking around. I I done told y'all who's gonna have the last word. She's showing you. And that's not just the Moors. That's all you motherfuckers that's out here purposely misleading people. Because you want to cipher off of their pockets. You want to cipher off of their energy. Because you're a low-level piece of shit. I'm not talking about the ones that don't know. Beloved, I'm not talking about you if I don't know. They know who I'm talking to. Each one of you motherfuckers that deem yourself a leader and you know the shit you telling ain't true. So, in the words of a meme, if that shoe fit, lace that motherfucker up and wear it. All right. Hey, Brother Sean. Peace and love.
Boldness and power.
Brother Sean.
Hey, listen. Y'all haven't had it.
Yeah, good to hear your voice, brother, honey. We done been up the block, around the corner, restarted the feed, child. We done been through something tonight, but that's okay. We're here.
I caught part of it. Got disconnected, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Indeed. Did you have anything you wanted to do? We'll go ahead on with the fuckery. And I'm trying to dig up this article on the Aurora Borealis. So if you got something you want to speak to the family on.
Just focusing on yourself. Everything else, bullshit.
Exactly.
You are what matters. We can't worry about anybody else. Like it's been saying, their paperwork, their titles, they mean nothing outside of the system. If that's what you want, that's within the system. I mean, you're within your right to continue to exist.
Indeed.
In the third dimensional realm. But when we tell you, we through with this shit. We through with it. I mean, doing shit like that gonna bring you unnecessary consequences. Because we ain't fucking with you. Y'all think that they bring chaos.
Exactly.
Y'all ain't seen no real chaos.
Huh.
All it is right here is in your mind. Keep fucking around. It's coming. And the shit is real. I mean, time for play is over.
It's over.
Y'all done had too much fun. It's
Been
over.
kicking it.
It's over. Period. Bye.
Exactly. Been in mama's house with they drugs off. Came in her house. Kicked off they nasty muddy shoes. Shit-stained drawers. Just been kicking it.
I mean, look what they pets did to them. Pandemic. To unleash panic. Like that was said a word. Pandemic.
Right.
The coronavirus has been around. All they said was pandemic. Motherfuckers panicked. And it's here.
Right.
Willing to do anything to survive. and get a couple dollars. I mean, shit. The system is over. How can a bankrupt system give you anything that's tangible?
Exactly.
How can a fraudulent system give you anything that's lawful?
Exactly.
Any interaction with it beyond that of your necessities, because we all use what we have to in war. We
Right.
got war. We just using this bullshit. Because people will tell you, you got driver's license, you got this, so you a slave too. No, motherfucker, I'm trying to get around
Exactly.
and not have motherfuckers fuck with me.
Exactly. I got things to do.
Exactly. For real. That's it. I mean, I'm not looking to be no citizen or get any of the privileges. I just want to be left the fuck alone
Right.
until this shit is over.
Right.
And it's over.
It is. It is.
Now, it's stay the fuck out the way.
And don't you find it interesting, brother, that the same ones that be trying to tell people how they a slave because you got XYZ be the same motherfuckers trying to get you to sign up. Oh, so you don't want me to be they slave. You want me to be your slave. Let me tell you something. If you don't kiss my entire fat copper color ass, you better. Go on up the street with the fuck shit now. I done took and told you.
I mean, if people want to be a part of nations, that's fine too, because our ancestors did it.
Right.
But where did that get them?
Child.
We still don't understand the full extent of why our bloodlines came together and formed those nations.
Exactly.
Etc. We're still taking on responsibilities and debts that aren't ours.
Exactly.
We're beneficiaries. We're guardians. They fail in their task.
Exactly.
We don't have to repeat that. That's the one constant that every generation seems to overlook. And that's the one outcome we always have. We lose. Because we choose to. We keep choosing to be victims. We keep choosing to be slaves. We keep choosing to be lesser than.
Yep.
And our people can't deny that. They accept being lesser than because they're running around asking for equality.
Exactly.
So, I mean, we doing it to ourselves.
Exactly.
Everything is still ours. It ain't enough of them for it not to still be ours.
Well, come on now and talk about it.
But everybody just wants their little piece and want everybody else to partake in it, except the indigenous people.
Exactly.
All of this is about the world against the indigenous Americans. Period. Who ain't trying to get a piece of here?
Shit.
I'm listening.
I'm looking
Who
for
ain't
the
trying to get a
bomb.
piece of here? Come on. Tell me.
Exactly.
But y'all love all these motherfuckers. You know more about all of them than you know about your damn self.
Yep.
The party's over. We awake. We online. We fully activated.
Exactly.
Y'all ain't seen shit yet.
Y'all really ain't. For real, for real. Y'all really ain't. That's what all of this is about. All of the election, Q Elemental P NAM, Rona, all of it is about that. To try to delay the upgrades. To delay folks to continue to exist. Because they can't handle the upgrade. Now, will Mama allow some people to, over time, upgrade? I don't know that. That's her business.
Described as one of Earth's greatest light shows, and Aurora
and
is one of the most
you know,
fascinating
when
and beautiful
my mama tell me to stay out of her
natural occurring
business,
phenomena. You might know it as the Northern
that's what
Lights,
she mean.
technically called the Aurora.
So y'all probably hear something. I'm gonna shut it down. I'm trying to bring up this Aurora Borealis article. So I don't know that. But what I do know, they know that they can't hold this frequency, this new high vibrational frequency. What I do know, that they know that it's huge changes on Mama. All across the board. More importantly, consciously, but also in the physical. That's from the environment, the ecological system, all of that. That's what I do know. So all of this other foolishness, that's what it is. It's foolishness. Literally, that's what it is. It's straight foolishness. All right, so I'm finna switch to this article, y'all. So you finna see, YouTube land, you finna see me black out the screen and switch over. So bear with me. Let me try this again. Okay, so I'm trying to share my browser with you, YouTube, so we can read this article about the Aurora Borealis. So bear with me. All right, Brother Sean, we trying to get to it.
Hey, I'm cool.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. All righty. Let me try to find it. Come on. Y'all, I may have to read it if it don't want to act right, but I like for y'all to see what I'm reading. Because again, they made the announcement about the Aurora Borealis being able to be seen, this, that, and the third. And then now all of a sudden, Sis Cheryl said they gonna talking about something. It's been downgraded and it ain't gonna happen. Yeah, okay, right. Okay. Uh-huh.
Did you hear something about a possible blackout due to backed up sewage?
No, where you hear that at?
One of my coworkers was telling me that earlier.
What?
And that it's supposed to happen in this area. Now, considering that they are going to be blocking out areas at a time to pull off certain things, I'm just wondering who in my area targeted.
So are they saying did they say just your area, or did they say like
Northeast area.
Okay, the whole Northeast. So all right. So that would be pretty much me too, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
What? All right, family. All right, you too. What you say?
I'm looking forward to it because that means there's some action going down.
Exactly. So that's interesting that whoever your people are told you that, and now we talking about the aurora borealis, but ain't none of that as you say, Brother Sean, reminding me of what our ancestors say. But that ain't got nothing to do with it. If they don't get the so-and-so out of my face with it now, and see that they be making, no, they don't make me curse. I curse on purpose. I know exactly what I'm doing. So those that think I got a potty mouth, I know exactly what I'm doing. Don't think that I don't. I know exactly what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Because I'm not here to that ain't this type of channel. If you want you're gonna have to go somewhere else. I know exactly why I do what I do. Why I be having to cuss these MFers out. I'm sorry, go ahead, brother.
They ain't looking for that nowhere. Look at the stuff they watch. They like watching fags on TV, all type of stuff they put on TV. Our people just be loving it.
You know, people so full of crap. They really are. And again, I don't have a problem with anybody's sexuality. That's your business. Do you, boo. Long as you not harming anyone, forcing your will on anyone, baby, I'm good with you. Not harming children, I'm good with you. But here's where I have a problem. People want to sit up and judge other people, but the other stuff that should be vulgar to you isn't vulgar to you. See, that's when I have to call bullshit on bullshit. Folks tolerate abuse on a daily basis for themselves, for their family members, it going on throughout the world, and they not disgusted on that. But let my copper color ass get on here and tell you to kiss it, and why I'm telling you to kiss it, and why I'm telling you to go F yourself. Oh, she's vulgar. You're full of shit. You just want somebody to sit in your comfortable lane of I am. I'm not that particular being. I'm not that particular being. So if you can't take it, if it's too hot for you, this is not the place for you. I have said that continuously. I have had people email me, drop up under my particular promotions. I really like your message, but you just curse too much. And I'm polite to them. Beloved, then it's not the show for you. But don't think by any means, you finna tell me what to do, how to do it, when to do it. Keep it moving. But yet they be the same people. The same people. I have personally witnessed it. That no abuse is going on and they overlook that shit. They justify that shit. And when I call it out and call them all type of dirty motherfuckers, this ain't right. Oh, well, it's just the way you say it. Look, fuck you and fuck them. How about that? Because you're not truthful. And like my friend's mom told me and her when we was youngins, that she said this drunk man had told this lady up in the alley, because the lady was sitting up there telling him a bullshit story. In general, she was telling the crowd a bullshit story. Now this is literally the alcoholic, okay? He literally told her, listen, now you can lie to me, but when you lie to yourself, wow. So that's where we are, family. And we done told y'all that shit is over with. If you not comfortable with people are saying when they spitting truth and you want them to deliver it a certain way, that's because your motherfucking soul is uncomfortable. I'm going to say that again. If you have a problem with the way someone is speaking truth and delivering truth, that's your motherfucking soul being uncomfortable. Those of us that's putting out this and the way we're putting it out, we know exactly what we're doing. Don't think that we don't. And what's shocking a lot of people is like, well, dang, she got a potty mouth. Damn, he got a potty mouth. And you're surprised because we fucking spitting that fire. And we got that intelligence behind it. We can back up what the fuck we say. And then on the spiritual side, you like, damn, it's shaking your soul. So no, I'm not here to make it comfortable and pleasant for you. If you uncomfortable, goddammit, that's between you and your soul. Go to another channel and get him. All right.
Makes sense.
Uh-huh.
But all those storylines usually stem from abuse.
Absolutely.
Most of the people that are sexually have been abused as children.
Absolutely.
It started in the home.
Absolutely.
Accepting the program on TV because for a lot of them, it's their actual reality.
Absolutely.
And that within itself is part of that period, because all of those people with somebody's bloodline.
Absolutely. Speak on it now, brother.
A lot of their ancestors did them wrong.
Absolutely.
Cousins,
yeah, you kind of going in and out for me. I don't know why, but I mean, I know why. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. But we have to take accountability. If we even let that type of programming
Absolutely.
permeating in our culture.
Tell it now.
Culture. We expect them for that. We accepted it.
Absolutely.
They gave us a narrative.
Absolutely.
They just wanted to be actors, and they acted like fools.
Absolutely.
They made it cool to be pimps and suckers and
Absolutely.
drug
Absolutely.
hoes and
Absolutely.
everything. And made it popular, and we embraced it.
Absolutely.
So who do we really blame? They didn't make us do any of that shit.
Exactly.
They just suggested it. But I don't even think people ready to take.
No, they're not. That's why they have to repeat a cycle. That's why they have to repeat a cycle. Because do you think Mama Earth wants to be bothered with that drama and that fuckery? Because they still on the low level? Because they don't want to get themselves together? Ain't nobody trying to be bothered with that bullshit. Just something as simple within folks' own individual family. The lies and the secrets and the abuse that has gone on. And when people try to break free that have suffered under that, they told us, shut up. It didn't happen. It's shame. We don't talk about it. And they wonder why the bloodline is still all messed up. Because people aren't cleaning it up. You're not cleaning it up. You got to put in that work and correct what was done wrong. And now is the perfect opportunity. That's what this has been all about. This particular galactic cycle, this is a huge one. So that's why those of us that have been there, done that, got the t-shirt and slung boogers, then confronted motherfuckers in our family, gone ahead with that fuck shit, don't give a damn whether or not they accept you, none of that. You hope that they get on board, but you enter and understand that what you are doing, you are breaking that generational curse, but it's up to them to raise up, to walk through the high vibrational door. We know what it is. So if we know what it is for our own family, do you honestly think somebody in a group or pushing some paperwork, you honestly think y'all finna change our mind? If we're not going to bow down and accept it from our own bloodline, you really ain't got nothing coming. Because everybody has to be accountable. You will be accountable for the decisions that you make. All right.
People talking about they really do.
What you say?
War with the beast, and they ain't even deal with their family. People got demons in their family.
Indeed. So I'm seeing in the chat, Da Vinci 7, who said Brother Hemet is a Mason? Who said it?
I don't know.
Now that's somebody in the chat talking about some he a Mason because I'm not a brother, sis, she who walks among the mist said, yeah, Bobby Hemmett curses also. Yeah, I love Bobby Hemmett's lectures. Y'all know how I feel about brother Bobby Hemmett because everything he was spitting up in the 90s is taking place now. So Da Vinci 7, you know, you have to give us a little bit more information to prove to us that, oh, okay, it was retracted. Oh, okay, you retracted his ass, Scotty. Oh, okay. Yeah, because, bruh, you got to prove what you say. You can't come up in here and just drop on people like that. And especially with Bobby Hemmett. And I don't mind being wrong. Trust and believe. But you got to bring them receipts. Because what I can say about Bobby Hemmett, what he spit in the 90s, all of that shit was accurate. And he even told people before he left up out of doing lectures, he told people to leave them fucking deities alone. He said, leave them alone. Because them deities and stuff, they don't even have the energy and the power. You got to go within. So, bruh, you're going to have to drop a little bit more information, sweetie, on that. You got to drop a little bit more. You got to explain exactly why you have a issue with him. But coming in here, calling him a Mason, and then calling him a fool, you got to explain why. Okay. All right, and I guess Scotty wasn't having it. He like, message retracted. I enter and overstand. Brother Scotty, I enter and overstand, beloved. Okay, so here's the article, y'all, from CNN now. You see it was dated yesterday. Sun launches explosion of, excuse me, y'all, dang.
Electricity goes out, you won't be able to go anywhere because you won't be able to charge it up. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, we just got kicked off again. Okay, it's back. Yeah, y'all see. Okay, so let's get into this article. Brother Sean, you still there?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So CNN, a spectacular display of the Northern Lights is possible Wednesday night as far as South Pennsylvania and Oregon. So dag, y'all, they said it was last night, so I didn't even miss it. Which I don't believe them. I'm still going out tonight. Communications disruptions could come as well. Okay.
You notice they said Oregon, West Coast.
Yeah, you said that, sis. You said that in the news thingy that I saw. And it could have been because it was my local news people. They were just talking about our area. But you did say it. Communication disruptions could come as well. The sun just released the equivalent of a massive solar belch, sending highly charged coronal matter across the solar system. Y'all get it? Coronal, Rona. Y'all getting that connection? And shout out to Brother Kalai. He was the first one that said that that's what that Rona was really about. It was about that electromagnetic burst. And about that UV radiation. He said that out the gate early on. All right. So some of the sun's energy will reach our atmosphere Wednesday night and Thursday. Okay. I know I heard Thursday up in there. Doggone it. Motivating stargazers to look towards the night sky in anticipation of the colorful, shimmering northern lights. All right, so let me smooth on down. CNN, y'all sites suck. Y'all done got worse. All these doggone ads, it messes up the viewer experience. Ugh. All right. If your favorite radio station crackles with static or your GPS strays by a few yards, it's not just another byproduct of a crazy year. The incoming solar weather can actually cause communication disruptions such as GPS positioning errors and interference with our power grid. NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center says that the potential exists for strong storm levels if the magnetic field carried with CME connections well with Earth's magnetic sphere. Of course, a pleasant effect of the incoming solar activity will be a dazzling display of the aurora borealis. Because of the strength of the storm, the northern lights may be visible to many whom usually don't get to see them. NOAA's Geomagnetic Storm Index, which indicates the magnitude of solar activity, is predicting a KP index of 7 out of 9. Isn't that interesting? 7 out of the 9. So, seventh heaven, seventh realms, Mama Earth's tune frequency, according to the Alphabet Boys paper, is what? They said at 7.5, and I told y'all it's higher than that, and she's rising higher and higher. So I say at a minimum, Mama is going to, at a minimum, her frequency hertz is going to, I'm trying to look for this cursor. At a minimum, she's going to hit that 9, y'all. At a minimum. People struggling with what she's putting out now. All right. So an index of 7 out of 9, which corresponds to aurora activity as far south as Chicago, Detroit, Boston, and Seattle. So, yep, sis, there you go. That's hitting that West Coast, too. Yes, thank you, Deep H2O. CME equals coronal mass ejection. Okay? So that's that magnetic energy plus / UV radiation plasma. The incoming solar particles and magnetic fields released from the sun during a CME force the release of particles already trapped in the atmosphere. This triggers reaction, forcing photons of light activated by oxygen and nitron molecules in the upper atmosphere. Scroll down. Okay, so that's their version. Shoot, let me try to get back to this map. So that's what they're showing you right here. How the aurora borealis, how far it's spanning down. So dag, that is pretty far. Because according to their map, that's what, all the way down to Tennessee. That's all, dag, y'all. That's all the way across the board. So what this tells me, thank you for that message. Thank you, universe, for that message. This is what December 21st is all about. So you see these magnetic lines. She's going to keep bursting that energy that high frequency energy all across her. So that line is going to eventually engulf everything. All right. NOAA Geomagnetic Storm Index measures the intensity of solar activity and how far south the aurora borealis could be observed. The most common colors are a luminous green. Okay, so shout out to Scotty Saturn. He told y'all what the green represents. That's Mama Earth's heart chakra. Just like you have a heart chakra representing the color green, which is the gateway. The heart chakra is the gateway from the lower self to the higher self, or the lower frequency to the higher frequency. Now peep this. The atmosphere could provide a range of colors from red to pink or blue to purple. They're giving you the chakra colors or the energy center colors. So those of you that we talked about this all the time, and somebody dropped it in the chat tonight when y'all was talking about, you're seeing the pinks and the purples and the reds in the sky. So we have already been seeing it. Brother Deep.
I saw the red cloud.
You saw the red clouds?
Yeah, they were red and there was no storm coming.
Deep H2O said, it's what's been taught. It's what you've been talking about for some time, Rhonda. All they are talking about is very high level frequencies. So anything on a low vibrational level will be impacted, and sometimes severely. Absolutely.
Hence the rush of the COVID vaccine.
Absolutely. And we going to play right after this a snippet of Brother Martin Kinney's video. I'm just going to do just the first 5 minutes. Again, I'm highly encouraging you. I hope y'all done already went and listened to it, because he dropped a lot of jewels in that. He talks specifically about that vaccine and what he feels that it means. Okay. But the whole video was fire. He did an absolutely excellent job with it. So we're just going to play just a couple of minutes of it at the beginning, because in the beginning he starts out talking about that wave. That wave that we've been discussing lately in this series, and about that click out. So he's going to open up his video talking about the wave and how that wave is connected to the DNA upgrade. All right, so let me get back to this. Even through the forecast peak of the Northern Lights is for 3 hours starting at 10 p.m. Wednesday, some activity will be possible through December 10th. Keep in mind, this is not only stunning celestial event to take place this month. Mark your calendar for December 21st, when Jupiter and Saturn make their closest visible approach since the Middle Ages. This great alignment of planets, known as conjunction, coincides with the winter solstice and won't be seen again until 2080. Okay? So that's them giving you their version of a disclosure. Okay, that is the end of the article. That's them giving you their version of disclosure. Right? Okay, so wow, hope it's great, Rhonda. It's me. If you were able to see it, that's absolutely great. I'm gonna step out after the show. I'm not sure if it's gonna be clouded over for me or not. But either way, I mean, it would certainly be beautiful to see it. But if I can't, like I said, I've certainly been feeling the energy. So I'm definitely not broken up about it. Because I've definitely been feeling the energy. All right, YouTube. So I'm finna switch back just real quick. I'm gonna try to set up Brother Martin Kinney's clip. So bear with me here. I'm trying not to get the because is that the wrong one? Ciao. It has truly been a night, child. Y'all hanging in there with a sister. Okay, let me just bring this on right quick. I'm going to try to set up. Oops, y'all, I done pulled the Pilgrim one. Sorry, y'all. Let me try to get set up for Brother Martin Kinney's clip. All right, so She Who Walks Among the Mist. America was the new world. In my opinion, the new world order already happened, and now it's over. Absolutely. It's over. Absolutely, sis. It's over. That's why we have been saying that it's over. Absolutely. Okay, so let me try to bear with me, YouTube. So, Brother Shiner, sis, you all have anything to put on it while I'm trying to bring up Brother Martin Kinney's clip? Or not. Are y'all still there?
Okay. Well, I was thinking they said Tuesday or Wednesday, right? I mean Wednesday or Thursday, right?
Well, yeah, they said definitely Wednesday. They said maybe still Thursday, but Sis Cheryl came on earlier and said, "Oh, they said that it's been downgraded." I said, "Bull S."
Well, look, the problem is it's already been passed, and if anybody was having problems, they probably would have had them by now, right?
Well, what do you mean by problems?
Well, you know, if a coronal mass ejection or EMP was going to hit. I know there was a big fire in Chicago. Now, some kind of I just glanced at it. I didn't read it. That would be a problem. Would it catch stuff on fire, or the grid would go out, or something like that. So, if there was going to be a problem with the people getting sick, it would happen already because it's already done. If it was supposed to be Wednesday or Thursday.
But you're making the assumption that that's all it's going to be. That we've already been getting these bursts all along.
Yeah, so, I mean, what they expected, what I'm saying is they're expecting some fallout, dying out, and all this kind of stuff when this stuff happens, especially on the 21st. So the events, you know, Kenny talks about the events. So Corona was already out when he was talking about, no, it wasn't. It wasn't out when he had that video.
When who was having the video?
Kenny, his video was dated July 19th, I think it was.
What video you referring to? The one I'm finna play?
The 2020?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2020. It was July 19th. So
yeah, it was. You're right. I'm looking at it. Yep. So, okay, go ahead, sis. And YouTube, you see in black. I'm trying to pull in the clip.
So he's talking about the virus is the event, but December 21st may be the event. Or yesterday was the event. If the coronavirus.
No. What he's saying is that Rona is just them trying to get people to save people. He's really saying Rona is trying to save people that's not prepared for the upgrade. So the 21st event is when that frequency is really going to be at a very high level. The frequency been rising.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Like I said.
I'm sorry, go ahead, sis. You there? Oh, crap. Sis, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, you blanked out for a second for me. Okay, family, let me play this clip. Shout out to YouTube. You should be getting ready to see it. So, sister, brother Sean, I need for you all, because the way I have this computer set up, and I don't want to open up another session because I think it's going to freeze us up. I need for you all to look at your YouTube and just verify for me that YouTube world can see it.
Yeah, I can see him on the screen.
Okay, yeah, that's what I want. I'm finna play it in a minute. So, again...
That's surprising for me. I don't see nothing.
Huh? Okay, you just... I'm so frustrated. Say that again, because you just... You went in and out.
You know what? I was on my cell phone today, and the same thing happened. So maybe the event is happening. Because
and YouTube, I apologize, Sweet Pea, if it wasn't you. I apologize if I'm cussing you out, MF and SB, and it wasn't you, and it's just the CME up.
Yeah.
I apologize up in advance. Please forgive me if it wasn't you. I apologize. But if it was you, you gonna get what you get. But if it's not you, I apologize. Okay, so real quick, so we can get through this, because I'm tired of the in and out going. Because I'm pulling a little extra more energy from a computer standpoint. All right, so YouTube, you should see on your screen, Brother Martin Kinney, 2020 Nuclear Vision. He put this out July 19th. Now, mind you, I had stopped getting notifications from Brother Martin. So on this particular account, I know y'all don't see it, but on my personal account, I do have where I'm subscribed and should be getting notifications, because I do most of my listening on my personal account, not my show account. And I ain't even get this, y'all. I just got this. And he been dropping a lot of jewels. So check this video out. And the brother is slick. You see where he ended it. Baby, he ain't come to play with you. 22202. Baby, he ain't playing. He know what he doing. 2020 Nuclear Vision. Pineal Foundation. Or Pineal Foundation. That's the YouTube channel. I highly encourage you to subscribe to this brother. Great body of work. Absolutely great body of work. So we just gonna listen to the first little 5 minutes, but every drop of this video, he drops jewels. Now, he even gonna tell you, some of y'all, it ain't gonna resonate with you. You're not gonna agree with him, and he cool with that. Do you? All right? Okay, so here we go.
Hola. I'm going to be a bit slow today. It's really hot. It's like close to 40 degrees. I'm visiting Tom at the moment. But really needed to share something with all of you. Something I think, for me at least, something very profound. This is a download, I suppose, that I received with Kiman when he visited a few weeks ago. We had a couple of shamanic ceremonies during the full moon, and we asked some questions into the ether to Mother Earth, and we both got pretty much the exact same answer, pretty much. And what I'm going to share is very similar to stuff that maybe Robin has shared before. I spoke to Robin about it yesterday, and Robin has highlighted some of these concepts in the past, but I couldn't quite plug them into my field of perception at the time. But it feels like it's all just come into place now and making a lot more sense for me, at least. So I'm going to share quite a bit today, and I brought a whiteboard because it is quite technical. We're going to get into a semi-scientific mode, I suppose. There's going to be some illustrative science to these explanations, but it's not an exact science. Like with all things, like I've always said, what we share is not the gospel, I suppose. It's not religious. It is a perspective, and like all downloads or perspectives or visions or dreams, they come to you in a vague manner, I suppose. And all we can do is connect the dots and try and put the picture together as best as we can. So I'm not saying what I'm about to share is the absolute truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. What I am saying is maybe it's a perspective we should be considering, as alienating and as foreign as it might seem at the beginning. Hopefully it will make sense once we've digested it. So that is my little disclaimer before I begin this presentation. I'm going to talk about DNA today, DNA upgrades. What exactly is that, and how does it look scientifically, I suppose? We're going to talk about the event. We're going to talk about vaccines, 5G, Vimanas, opening portals or creating portals, plasma, elements. We're going to cover a lot of ground today. Sine waves. We're going to revisit some of the things we've spoken about in the past as well. So I'm going to crack on without further ado. But before we begin, I just want to take a deep breath and just ground. I've got no notes, as always. I'm going impromptu, so I need to just ground myself, center myself, and make sure that I'm as clear as I can be. Yeah. Right, here we go. So, we've talked about the 4 ages or the 4 seasons that we have in the universe, and we've all covered the idea that we're going through a shift. We're shifting from one age into another, from the Iron Age into the Bronze Age. I think that's something that we've all established now. And we're also shifting a zodiac age. We're shifting from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. So I think you've all seen this before.
So y'all see the wave.
Sorry for my wonky sine wave. But anyway, that is a sine wave or a version of sine wave. Obviously, sine waves come in very different shapes and sizes, but we're going to go with this one for today. Now, this sine wave, that. Right. There we go. So, the 4 ages. Where's my blackboard? Sorry, Tom, please pass me the yeah. I've not done this properly. I'm gonna do it again. Sorry, guys. Let's do this properly. Don't be lazy, Martin. Stand up. Okay. Sine wave. This is the Iron Age. This is the Bronze Age. And this is the Silver Age. And this is the Golden Age. Okay? This is where we are. So in the sine wave, if this is the Iron Age, these would be the zodiac ages. So over here we'll have Pisces. Over here we'll have Aries. No, I got that wrong, sorry. This is Pisces. This is Aries. And this is Taurus. The beginning of the Bible. The Bible begins here, the Iron Age. Before this, obviously, for those of you who are familiar with the cosmic clock stuff, will know that this is when we have the reset, the Great Flood. The reset from the Golden Age. So this is when we begin.
Okay, so I'm just going to stop it real quick, because those of you that follow the Bible and all of that, take note of what he's saying. Take note, especially that Taurus, that bull, all of that. Worshiping the golden calf. And I don't even rock with the Bible like that, but I remember some of them little stories. And we told y'all that those biblical stories and quote, quote, / events are really lined up with the galactic cosmos.
You know, when I heard him say this, I remember the book of Daniel with Nebuchadnezzar and his golden statue, but it was cut in sections, and I think the golden age was Nebuchadnezzar, which was Babylon, and then the other.
But it was golden for whom?
For Babylon.
Okay, very well stated, sis. But that wasn't the correct age that we were in from a galactic perspective.
Yeah, and I think theirs was based on what kind of instruments they used. You know, what kind of tools they found, like the bronze tools or the iron tools. You know, when man started using iron.
Well, they say when man started using it. But it was based on the frequencies that those two, y'all can't see me because I ain't got the camera on. I got my bell made out of bronze. So based on what those instruments made out of those precious metals, what frequency they were tuned to.
Well, in the Bible, it shows you that Persia, the Medes and the Persians were those different ages. The Babylons were one age, and the iron in the end was Roman. And we are definitely in the Roman age.
Right. Right. Okay, so I'm gonna let him continue, but I just want to point that out. So those of you that know that Bible real well, y'all should know what he's speaking on.
Began this epoch, beginning with the zodiac Taurus, and then sine waving into Aries, and then Pisces. And right now, this is where we are. We're here. We're now reaching the apex, the tipping point. Here. We're shifting from this big wave of iron into this big wave of bronze. And we're also shifting from Pisces into Aquarius. Okay? This is the meeting point. Now, the download that we got, which was very significant for this, was we've always assumed that in every age, like in the Iron Age, humanity follows a linear trajectory within that cycle. But it turns out that actually there's always a dualistic nature to every single age, right? So we'll put a line across there. So when we had this fall at the beginning in Taurus, in the age of Taurus, we're told in the Iron Age, even mainstream science says in the Iron Age, we had the hunters and the gatherers, or people who were hunters and gatherers. So Toster brought this up the other day and said, well, maybe they weren't hunters and gatherers in the same place. They were hunters who went one way and gatherers went another way, right? And they split off into two communities, if you like, or two realities within the same sine wave or within the same space and time. They go off their separate ways and then they meet again. After 2,000 years, there's a converging of cultures that comes again. This is when the world comes, they all meet again, all the different cultures, the Kushite, the Tartarians, all the different factions, if you like, all come together. And then there's another splitting that happened as we get into the age of Aries. And this is the sine wave that keeps happening. And this is exactly what's happening now. As you can tell, we've got this shift that's happening now. There are those who are going with the technology side of Aquarius, okay, the hunters. And you've got the gatherers, those who are choosing to be closer to nature, to be away from the technologies. The same concept, just in a higher octave, if you like. So it's history repeating itself. So what's happening now, this whole thing of those of us who are saying, let's detach from the matrix, let's come together into communities, let's start our own Aquarian system. It's exactly the same system that's happened before. We're just repeating the same cycle. So we are the gatherers, those of us who are choosing this strand of DNA, this wave. We are the gatherers, and those who are choosing to go down the left-hand path of Aquarius are the hunters, so to speak. So there has to always be a dualistic option or nature to every single shift. And that's what's happening right now. So I just wanted to share this with you. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this illustration. You're familiar with this concept. But I thought I'd just recap this and it will make sense why I'm bringing this up as we get further and further into this topic. So this is really important to remember. This toroidal field, the sine wave, because as all things are a microcosm of the macrocosm, this also relates to your individual ascension or your growth or your awakening, which I will touch on next. Okay, so hopefully that made sense. We're on the cusp. We're literally about to hit this tipping point. This is why this shift is so big. The last one would have been a lot smaller because it was just a small shift from one age into another. This one is big because, as we all know, it's a big double shift, okay? Right.
Okay, I can't remember what he's going to talk about next. I might stop it. Let me see.
Now,
I can't remember.
Individually, the same thing is happening. Exactly the same thing is happening in our individual lives.
Well, he said that once they get to that event,
what we call this awakening, right?
So that wave should look familiar when we talked about that click out.
Now, before the awakening, no, I'm jumping. Before the awakening, all of us were carrying a sine wave, but we were all carrying broken sine waves. Some of us were doing this. Some of us were doing this.
too much stress.
Incomplete sine waves. And we've seen a lot of these patterns in a lot of pottery. I'm sure Robin will talk about this either later or when we do a follow-up discussion on this topic. Robin will tie in a lot of these shapes or these symbols that I'm putting down. They'll make a lot more sense. But these are incomplete sine waves that we're all carrying. Now this one at the top, this is a very Piscean. We call it Piscean right-hand path. And this is the Piscean left-hand path. What does this mean? People who are riding the sine wave up here, they're not riding a complete sine wave because we've already established a complete sine wave is this, right? These people are just riding the top half of the sine wave. That they're not completing the loop. And these are the people that you find who are super religious or super spiritual. These are the people who are very extreme in their behavior and in their thoughts, even if it's in a pure form. It doesn't matter if it's religion or if it's spirituality. We all know people who are in the spiritual community who are very extreme. You know, I have to be breatharian. I have to push myself. I have to do certain things. I must. And I did this on my awakening, right? So we all have to go through this sine wave of extreme, riding the wave on top, but you're not balanced, you're not complete. And this is just as toxic as those who are riding the sine wave underneath. These are the sheep, what we call the sheep in the matrix. The followers, they just follow whatever they're told by whatever authority they have chosen for themselves. So they're riding the wave from underneath. They're not complete. A lot of these people think they're a lot more spiritual or they're a lot more connected than these people, but there is no difference. I'm sorry, I'm going to trigger a lot of people today. There is no difference. Both are just as unbalanced. If you're religious or if you're spiritual, but you're dogmatic and you're not balanced and in sync, you're just as toxic as someone who's not. Again, this is not a right or wrong thing. I'm speaking in a dualistic nature right now. I'm speaking in a grounded nature. It's not to chastise anyone. I've been both of these. We've all been both of these. It's just an honest conversation. So this is the sine wave that most people are riding in the world. And the matrix, so to speak, those who escape this left-hand path and somehow find spirituality, the matrix doesn't mind you finding spirituality and riding the wave above. This is why they promote new age beliefs like veganism, like new age spirituality, like you know what I'm talking about. This is why the matrix promotes it, because they know those people, even though they are closer to connection, they're still disconnected. They're not completing the sine wave. So this is really, really important to grasp, especially for those of us who are on this spiritual journey. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I complete? Am I balanced? Or am I extreme in my thoughts and in my views? Do I have balance or am I extreme? Am I extreme about food? Am I extreme about how I think, how I process things, how I interact with other people? If you are extreme in any way, shape, or form, you are doing this. You are not balanced. You are not in sync. You're not in rhythm. Okay?
Can I add, Martin?
Yes.
It's if you're just riding one of those, the ego is driving you.
Yes.
It's your ego that's driving you. You're not being driven by your higher self.
Yes.
You're not submitting to what you already know.
Yep.
You're letting your ego from this incarnation drive your vessel.
Beautiful.
So that can be on either side.
Yes, exactly. there's ego on both sides. You know, if you're asleep in the matrix, you're driven by ego. Even if you're awake, those who say, I'm now awake, and you can still be awake and be driven by ego. That's right in that top wave. You're connected, but you're still in ego. You're still trying to prove a point. You're still trying to chase something. You're not balanced. You're not comfortable with who you are. You're not in tune with yourself. You're still following programs. Urine therapy programs, this program, that program. Those are all programs. What you want to do is break those rhythms and those cycles and listen to yourself. Now, for some people, this might mean eating meat. I know I'm contradicting myself. If you feel like you're craving meat, that is what you need to be doing. If you feel like you need to be eating certain foods, but your programming is telling you, your spiritual programming is telling you, oh, eating that type of food is not good, again, you are religious. You're not in balance. You're not in harmony. You're following a program. It's a religious program. It's a spiritual program. We want to break free from programs. We want to be free, really free. Now, what happens is, normally, especially for people who are riding this underwave, this undercurrent, or even the overcurrent in a toxic way, what normally happens is when they have the awakening, they go from doing that to doing this. Right? They complete the sine wave. They go from just doing that to doing this, but it's so erratic. It's not complete, as you can tell. It's a very erratic sine wave. And this is when people have that, the Kali energy, if you like. Kali or Shiva energy, that anger, that passion, unbalanced. You find vegan activists who are so angry. One moment they love animals, they're all loving, they're all caring. The next minute they're going and burning factories and they hate the world. You get people who are very, very unbalanced. They're spiritual, but they're unbalanced. One day they're so close to God and they're talking, they're so positive. The next day they're so negative. They're so up and down. There's no balance within their lives. And this, everyone must go through this. This is the awakening. Now, when this happened to me, of course, I went on social media. I was championing flat earth. I was screaming. I was shouting. I was calling anyone who didn't subscribe to the flat earth an idiot, stupid. I was angry. I was, it was righteous anger, but it was very unbalanced. It was very up and down. And we see today with a lot of people within the woke community, they're still carrying this sine wave. Even years later, I've got friends who are still doing this. The activists, we must fight. Fight the government, fight Bill Gates, fight these people. Let's go in the streets. Let's do this. There's a lot of up and down, up and down, up and down. There's no solutions. All of it is about fighting. And there are some who choose to do this, and they do this. And then they flatline, they go up, and they flatline, and they go up, and they flatline, and they go up, and they flatline. They're doing something similar to this, but there's a little bit more balance. And these are the people who are high, very spiritual, and then they flatline, meaning they're indifferent. I don't care. Whatever happens, happens. I'm leaving it to God. I'm leaving it to the universe. I don't need to take action. I don't need to do anything. I'm going to do nothing. And then the next minute they're high. Oh, wow, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm close to God, and I'm going to go on a fast. And then they flatline again. And some do the opposite. Underneath, they balance. Underneath, they balance. Underneath, they balance. So there is so much going on within the collective consciousness of these sine waves. And I think this is what a lot of the ancient cultures were trying to teach us with the pottery, the cave paintings. They were trying to explain these concepts to us of sine wave, of consciousness, of ups and downs and lows and balancing, and finding our rhythm individually and collectively. So hopefully that gives you an idea of this sine wave. So what we want to do, those who are able to transcend this programming or to overcome this erratic sine wave, this is what you want to do. Eventually, you want to balance out. You want to find some sort of balance. You want to do that. You want to go from this to this. This is the DNA, okay? Within yourself. This is where it really gets interesting now, because once this happens, this is when you find peace. This is the moment, a lot of you who are watching this will know this moment when you accept. You get to a stage where you say, I don't need to fight anymore. I don't feel like fighting. I don't need to research anymore. I don't feel like researching. I just need to be. I know where I need to go. I know what I need to do. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to find my place, and I'm going to be at peace, and I'm going to wait for things to play out in whatever way I can. I'm going to do the best that I can and just find my place. This is where you're finding balance. This is the balance that Tom is always talking about. You know where you need to be. You know what you need to be doing. This is when you finally get your sine wave balanced. You are now in motion. You're now in rhythm. And once you do this, you activate your toroidal field within. This is when you will now become activated. This is the true awakening. The true awakening is not this. People say, I'm woke, and they're doing this. They are not awake. They're aware. This is awakening. Awakening is when you find balance within your toroidal field. Okay? Something else that's really important when this happens, this can be quite a very, very, very dangerous transition as well. Because this transition happens in various ways. So within this toroidal field, within this sine wave, when you first have this awakening, the true awakening of balance, this middle path, let's call this the 9 octave. This is God. Right? This is the center of the toroidal field. Above that, you've got another strand, which you might call the 8, and the 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You get the picture. As you can see, this looks like sinew.
So, as he's drawing that, those of you that have been with us from the beginning of the series, as we were going through the Alphabet Boys document on consciousness, they specifically had in there the wave, and they also had in here the torus field. Literally, this exact thing that he is drawing, this torus field, the Alphabet Boys have in their documentation regarding consciousness.
Or fibers. I'm sure you've seen this illustrated with many esoteric teachers or whatever, but anyway, it will make more sense now. So these are the fibers. You've got 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay? Now, when you awaken, you activate your 1 toroidal field. Your number 1 toroidal field is activated, the big one. But inside, it's empty. These are not activated. The ones inside are not activated. All right? So your toroidal field is hollow. There's not much in it. This is when you start going to look for information, or you start doing certain practices like meditation or yoga, whatever it is, or sharing, starting groups on the internet. All of that is now trying to build strands within your toroidal field, changing your diet, changing where you're making changes in your life. You're now picking up strands of DNA that will strengthen your toroidal field. Now, what's happening with a lot of people, sometimes what does happen is, what you want to do is, you want to activate the toroidal field from the outside in. You want to start with 1, obviously, and then activate number 2, then number 3, then number 4, then number 5, then number 6, until you get to number 9, where you've pretty much ascended. That's ascension, number 9. What is happening right now, for all kinds of reasons, which many of you might be able to figure out. I've not really gone too much into thought. I've not put too much thought into it. But what some people are doing is, once they awaken to this 1, they skip certain strands. They go from 1 to number 4. They go from eating meat and being dense to, oh my God, I need to be a fruitarian. I've got to be a fruitarian. There's no transition. They've not gone through the steps of, oh, no, I'll go vegan, I'll eat a little bit of toxic vegan food, or become vegetarian, then vegan, and then maybe I'll start looking at the fruits, and then maybe the breatharian thing. They're not following a rhythm. They jumped strands. And these are the people, when they do this, because they've done this, even if they connect other strands, the 5, the 6, the 7, the 8, and the 9, because they're missing the 2 and the 3, a lot of the time the toroidal field collapses. These are the people who end up going back to eating meat. We've seen this movement of people who have the awakening, they become vegan and then fruitarian really quickly, and then 4 or 5 years later, they're eating raw meat. And we're saying, how has this happened? How has someone been so close to it and gone backwards so much? It's because the toroidal field has collapsed. There weren't enough strands to hold that toroidal field because they missed some of the strands.
Because the ego stopped them from being honest with themselves.
Beautiful.
At that point. Because they weren't able to stop and really reflect inwards on where actually am I right now. Now this journey, like everyone is trying to rush to here,
yep.
But really it is just a journey, and that's unique to everybody. And this is what you need to start accepting, is being truly honest with yourself, where I am, where I need to go, and what I need to do. And not skipping any steps that are for you, just because your partner is or your best friend is. You know, you think, oh, well, they're ahead of me. That's all ego. That's not you, is it? That's how I like to look at it.
Beautiful. And that's the biggest concept. There is no right or wrong. We need to come out of this dualistic thing of this is right and this is wrong. There is no right or wrong. There is only your right and your wrong.
Your experience.
Based on your toroidal field and what you need to experience. Now, for some people, they're able to cope with it, especially if you're in the right environment. There are some people who go from number 1 straight to number 9. This is possible. And they've not filled any of the gaps here. And these are the people who end up becoming people like the monks. They go into retreats, they become eunuchs, and they go into retreats of silence. They completely shut themselves off because they're so close to God. They found God completely. They don't need any of these strands. But you've got to remove yourself from society. You cannot be in society without these strands. These strands are what enable you to be able to connect with all the fibers, all the other fibers that we call society. Everyone else around you, all the other toroidal fields around you. So it is possible to get to number 9. But once you're at number 9 or number 8 or these higher chords, you cannot be in society if you're not complete. You can't. Because you become toxic around other people. You become toxic within yourself because there's a mismatch. You're not aligned to the frequency of the realm and the people around you. Right? So these are the people who become spiritual gurus, and all they do is sit under trees and meditate. They don't eat, they become breatharian, whatever. They've reached number 9, they've got no strands, they're pretty much just waiting. Which is fine for some people. I think it's a shame because you're missing out on playing the game. The whole point of being on earth is the journey, is getting to number 9, getting to God. It's not the destination, it's the journey. That's the beauty of all of this. And some of us, we're caught in the destination. I need to get there. I need to get to Eden. I have to go there now. And you're missing the point of the journey of what do I need to do to get there? What are the steps what steps should I take to get there? And where am I? How many strands do I need before I can get to that Eden stage? And this is the reality check that I had. I reached number 9 when I had my second awakening and I met Devin Maggi and all that. I had my number 2 and number 3 activated, and I almost jumped straight to number 7. But I was hollow, and I wanted to go to Eden. I'm done. I see it all. I don't care about anything. I need to go to Eden right now. I need to ascend now. And this is where we're in that space. but our toroidal field was collapsed. We weren't complete. And things weren't working out. We were emotionally unbalanced. We were mentally unbalanced. Even financially, things just weren't working. We're like, well, why aren't things working? It's because we were trying to run before we can walk. So when I had my call, when mother spoke to me, she said, whoa, 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 slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. You need to go back, reverse. You're going too far, too quickly. You need to pick up a few more strands before you can start communicating with me at this level. Otherwise, if I give you number 7 information and you don't have enough room in your toroidal field or enough strands to hold that information, it will collapse. You will lose your mind, you'll go crazy, you'll become unbalanced, unhinged. And I'm sure, I don't need to mention names, I'm sure you guys know quite a few people in the spiritual community who are very unbalanced. One moment they're super high, next moment they're super low. They just completely, this is why. It's because they're missing many strands within the toroidal field.
Many experiences.
Many experiences. They jumped too quickly. So yeah, so I thought I'd share that with you guys, and hopefully it makes some sort of sense.
All right, family. So, Dag, I know we were going to play 33 minutes of it, but it was well worth it. So shout out to Brother Martin Kinney. Again, this is 2020 New Clear Vision. The YouTube channel is Pineal Foundation. So I highly encourage you to go back and listen to the entire video. He drops mad jewels in it. And he was so on point, Sis Sandra, I didn't even realize that he had put this out in July. I was just so excited when it came across my feed and I started listening to it. And he started out with the wave. I'm like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. I was just so excited. I didn't even realize that he put this out in July. And I told you all the reason why I had to halt the Pilgrim series, because I kept being told, kept getting the message, you got to put that on the back burner and get on the information about consciousness and what is going on and what is taking place now. So thank you, Brother Martin Kinney, for that. We appreciate you, brother, your body of work. So, YouTube family, we are going to start winding down. So, Sis Sandra, and you have any last words for the family? Yeah, it's been one heck of a night.
Yeah, it's been one heck of a month, a year. This, a lot of people are upset about this year, and I can't say I blame them. But, I find comfort in it because it's change, and you're either going to be ready for that change, like he's saying in his thing, or you're going to be frustrated, angry and stuff. So, and the whole world is going through this corona change, and then we have the 21st. It's a good day for me. I don't know about anybody else, but it's a good day for me. It's a special day for me on the 21st. So, anyway, sorry. So, anyway, I wish everybody a good night, and I hope they enjoyed the show. And I always love to hear people when they call in. Y'all guys can call more. Right, Rhonda?
Indeed. Okay, so sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. It's just good that it's time for us to say goodnight. What am I doing?
Indeed. Brother Sean, you have any last words for the family?
Okay. Well, be you. That's your purpose. Remembering who you are. Love y'all.
All right, family. So, thank you all. It's been one heck of a night. Boy, we done been up, around the corner. So I felt like that wave tonight. Up, down, around, up, down, around. So my last words for the family, we've talked about the Aurora Borealis. We showed you where they said in their own little words what specifically was going on. The Earth's magnetic field is rising. They said could get as high as 9. And remember, I told y'all that equated to the frequency. I specifically told y'all that. They said at a minimum 7. And here, Brother Martin Kenny specifically showed you with that your Taurus field how that highest level is that 9. So once again, lining up what we are saying, what this shift is really about. It's about you rising up to your highest level. Being able to hold and maintain the frequency. And when you skip steps and stuff, how you'll collapse it and then you'll have to go back to a certain point to do what you need to do to get to that level 9. Because I told y'all at a minimum, Mama is going to that 9. I told y'all at a minimum, Mama is going to that 9. So with CNN them and mainstream media and them, they've pretty much come out and told you that the electromagnetic field is expanding out. They pretty much told you at a highest level of 9. So those of you that are able to receive this type of information, you should be connecting the dots. This is not a competition. It's not a competition. If you thinking it's a competition, well, so-and-so doing that, so-and-so doing that. Like the brother pointed out, that's ego. That's why I say sweep around your own MFing doorstep. Okay? So I encourage the family, if you can, get out there. Watch Mother Earth's lights if you can see it. If you can't see it, still get out there and just rock with her in general. Stay in tune with her. If you are in tune, she's giving you the messages. Because she wants you to succeed. She wants you to get to that 9. But it's not like she's rushing you or making you get to that 9. You have to do the work and make that decision. And as Brother Martin Kenny just showed you, yes, there is a macro, meaning the collective consciousness. That's what the energy frequency shift is about at the macro level. But the micro, you're totally responsible for that. You're responsible for activating your DNA strands to tune up to that 9th level. And no amount of groups, no amount of paperwork, no amount of spiritual dogma can get you there. Only you can get you there. That's literally you being in tune and knowing you. So with that, family, I wish everyone well. If you can, get out and enjoy Mama's Elements. And thank you, She Who Walks Among the Mist. You said thank you, thank you. Yakoki, this was valuable in more ways than one. And I appreciate all of y'all's research time and dedication to remind us. Well, thank you to Sis She Who Walks Among the Mist. Thank you, YouTube family, for retuning in. Pretty much all of you all, I'm looking at the numbers. A couple of them didn't make it, maybe 10 or 15 or so. But for the most part, you as a collective, you all even came back into the new stream to get these jewels. So we appreciate you all as well, because, you all are helping us in our journey by just tuning in for these couple of hours every week for us to put out this information. So please note that it is appreciated. We truly appreciate it. We get a lot out of this as well. I get a lot out of it as well. Because literally every week, I be tired. I work a minimum 8 hours. Most of the time 9 hours, sometimes 10 hours. And come to do these particular shows. I be dead tired, y'all. Sometimes I take a nap before I come on the air. And I'm like, oh, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. And every time, there has not been one time that I'm on the air, unless I'm under the weather, that I'm automatically energized. So that tells me that not only I'm doing the right thing for my soul consciousness, but I'm getting a lot out of it too. So it's much appreciated to you all. Thank you to the family callers for being patient with us as well. Whew, child, I was about to kick the call into the curb, but based on the way this technology is working, as Mama whooping everybody into shape, I got to keep them both going. So thank you to the family callers. We're going to be back next week, family, because we still ain't got to the Alphabet Boys stuff. We still ain't finished the Alphabet Boys stuff. So next week we're going to get back to that. And I just want to also remind the family that we do have the pagan holidays coming up. So we are going to be taking a break the week of what they call in Christmas and a week of what they call in New Year's, which is the fake New Year. So for 2 weeks, we're going to take a break. So I'm going to use that as some downtime and do some more reading. And really, to be honest, really be just in peace and getting more in tune for the 21st. Okay, so I'm just letting you all know that ahead of time, and also just encouraging you all to take these opportunities starting right now to start getting yourself grounded, start getting yourself even more in tune with self and in tune with Mother Earth, because these energies are getting stronger and stronger. I saw some of you in the chat talking about some of your symptoms with the headaches, the nausea, etc., etc. That's that energy hitting you and your DNA taking it in, giving you your tuning and your upgrades. All right. So with that said, family, I ain't even finna play no music because I don't feel like fumbling with this equipment, y'all. I am getting worn out at this point. So thank you, Brother Sean. Thank you, Sis Sandra, my co-host. Thank you, Brother 218. We appreciate you. Thank you, Brother 832. We appreciate you as well for putting something on it. So peace and love, family. And if you're in the YouTube chat, thank you, Brother Scotty. You was on it tonight with, putting people in their place. So I appreciate you for looking out, being a huge supporter, as you always are. But Brother Scotty dropped in a link for the Great Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, a YouTube link. So pull that and check that out as well. So we all love you very much, family. Peace and love. We'll be back next week. Oh, and if you out and see Mama Earth chakra systems, y'all take them doggone pictures. If you can catch them, take them and send them to a sister, and we'll display them. So love you all, family.